Hello. Alright, so we'll be having this on our skirts class, and I want it to be a short skirt, okay? And it's fitted, penciled, very penciled, with an overlapping slit at the back. Alright, and also it's with band. It's going to be a band cloth, a band skirt, and we're going to make use of diamond darts, alright, on this one. Okay, so let's start the class now. And then the first thing I'll be doing is I want to take this out, okay? I don't like when the name of what I'm working with is actually showing in my fabric. I take it away, okay? So I'm marking this out, all right, like that, and then I'm starting my measurements from there. So the hip length of this client that I'm working with is 7, and then it's with band, like I told you, it's with band. So now let's take note on some little things that we'll be doing now. Okay, so I have 7 here, all right? I'll be adding ½ inch to it. That makes it 7.5, right? All right. Now, I said my band is 2 inches. So if I'm taking 2 inches away from 7.5, I'm going to be having 5.5 left, all right? So that is what I'll be working with here, 5.5. My band gives me the rest that I need for it to be complete, all right? So I'm marking this straight, okay, and then I'm putting that tape rule on 7.5. I'm sure it's clear, it's not confusing, right? So the tape rule is going back there. So now we've succeeded in taking up the 2 inches that we'll be adding back to it to making it complete. Can you see it now? So my tape rule goes back to 7, taking the ½ inch for joining it up there. And then I take my skirt length, which is 22 inches. And I use hemming of 2 inches for my skirt, for this particular skirt. Skirt length is 22 and my hemming is 2 inches for this one. It's not like the 6 pieces we did earlier. There's just some little slight difference in this one, okay? So this hemming now, why I'm having 2 inches here is that I'm going to be taking it up here. I'll show you when I cut it out what I mean so you understand it better. I'll be taking it up here and, using it, taking it up, using my lining to push it in, alright? So even if you sit down and your skirt is coming up a little bit, it's not showing the lining first. It's still showing the fabric, okay? So that's why I'm doing this here. I'm using it to go up a bit. So I've done that. So my darts for this person is 3.75, which is the nipple to nipple divided by 2, and the nipple to nipple is 7.5, so it gives me 3.75 for a dart. So I just marked that there, and I'll give it a little notch to remind myself of what that place is for, okay? So now the skirt waist round, after asking her where she's placing her skirt and everything, so where I measured on her skirt waist is 27, and 27 will give me 6.75 if I divide it by 4, and I'm putting my dart allowance, which is 1 inch, and my side seam allowance, which is 1.5, okay? And then the hip length will also be doing the same thing like that. So the hip length is actually 35, which is going to be giving me 8.25, okay? And then the dart is not actually coming here to affect this place in any way. So I'll only be adding my side seam allowance, which is 1.5 inches. And down here is a penciled skirt. So my hip that I have is 35 inches. Now let's listen closely. I have my hip of 35 inches here, and I want to give myself a very penciled skirt, okay? Now, for a slim person, you can actually deduct 4 inches away from the hip measurement. So if this person's hip measurement is 35, I'm going to be deducting 4, and I'll be having left 31. So I'm going to be dividing that 31 by 4. So that is what I would now be using right here, which will give me 7.25, a little bit of after 7.25. It will be giving me that, and I'm marking that here, and I'm adding the 1.5 allowance. But note something, if it is for a fat person or a big person, plump person like I am, we minus 3 inches from the hip round, and whatever I get as my answer, then I divide it by 4 and I use that here. Alright, that is for it to be a little bit free for us to move around, and because of the thighs is bigger, so we have different body shapes and different sizes, so it would also affect our calculations here. So just note, you're either minusing 5, 4 or 3 away from your hip round to getting yourself this knee round right here.